Hello and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be installing a Gold DieHard AGM battery. It's a G34R. We're going to put it on our 1997 Toyota 4Runner. The battery that we have in there now is an X-Side. It's only a little over a year old and it's failed, and we're trying to work that out with X-Side now for a replacement. But in the meantime, we went down and got a smoking deal from Sears on this battery because it's a holiday weekend and they had some online special savings. So I think with core charge, we paid about $145 because we're not giving them a core. The core charge is $20 on these. So having said that, you're going to want to wear safety glasses anytime you work around a battery. You want to make sure your engine compartment is cooled down. And also, you always want to take the negative terminal off first and put the negative terminal back on last. So we're going to walk over to the truck now and start taking the old battery out. So the first thing we're going to do here, as I mentioned, is take off the negative terminal first. We're going to move that out of the way and we're going to tape up the post. And that way, nothing should happen that you could short across these two posts, which I've seen happen, and it's a very bad thing to have happen. Somebody almost lost their vision when that happened. I'm also using a shorter wrench for that reason, that it won't short across. So again, we're going to take the negative off first, followed by the positive. We're going to tape that up, and then we can safely take the bracket off. Okay, negative's off. I'm going to tape it up and I'm going to come back and show you the positive. All right, so now I'm going to take off the positive connection. And I'm just going to give it a little support as I loosen it. These don't need to be very tight, by the way. Just good and snug if they're clean. I usually also wear gloves, but forgot to. In this case, I'll just have to wash my hands afterwards, because you will be touching lead and you don't want to get that into your food. So this one's a little tougher to get loose because it's tight down on the terminal. There we go. So that's loose now. I'll tape it up and I'll take off this bracket and we'll come back. Okay, now that I have the battery in a safe mode of operation, or where I can work around it, I'm going to go ahead and use a 12mm wrench to take this bolt loose. And I'll set it carefully aside where I won't lose it. And then this one, probably just need to loosen it by hand a little bit. And when you put the new battery in, you may need to use a spacer. We're going to measure it and find out. But also, you don't want to tighten down the batteries too tight. You want them just to be snug so they don't move around, but you don't want to crack the case. So I'm going to carefully remove this, set it aside. We'll pop out the old battery, measure the height of it, put the new one in. At this point, what we've done is we put the new DieHard battery in. And in order to get the height right, we had to use the spacer that came with it. It was on the top, and we put it on the bottom, which is how you do that. And so we're pretty much ready to reconnect it. We have gone ahead and installed the bracket, and you can move it slightly, but it's pretty sturdy into place. Like I said, you don't want to make it so tight that it damages the body of the battery. So the first thing we're going to do is pull off the positive and connect that first. So I'll get that done here like this. Bring that all the way down, and I'll get my wrench out and tighten that up. And again, this just gets snugged up really well. You don't want to make it super tight. And if your terminals are dirty, you're definitely going to want to clean them before you install your new battery. And you do want to make sure red goes to positive, and that's why this is a 34R, because the terminals are reversed compared to a regular 34. And I'll put some downward pressure over here to counter my tightening this nut up. Okay, so that's nice and smooth. So now it's time to do the other side. Oh, I also wanted to mention we took the bracket off. So we got the bracket off, and then I'm going to do this now. Okay, installation is now complete. This is nice and snug. That's correct. The negative goes to the negative, positive to the positive. We're all ready to crank the trunk. So we're going to go ahead here in just a second, get in the truck and crank it. We have to open the garage door first. Okay, so now we're ready to do a start test. Go ahead and start it. Cranked right up as expected. So really that's all there is to this video. Thank you for watching.